Okay, what if we stopped looking at our podcast as the end product and we started thinking of it as a draft for all of the other messaging that can help lead the right kinds of clients to our business? Hear me out. This is an idea I had this morning, and actually I've been doing this, but I haven't explicitly been talking about it as much as I probably could, because I just assume that a podcast audio is going to end up in multiple forms because not everybody has time or desire or a liking for audio. And I know that's such a weird concept because I too am a voice person. I love listening to voices. I love talking and all of those kinds of things, but not everybody is. And you don't want your clients to just be restricted to people that like audio. Unless you do, in which case you can stop now and keep moving. But hi, for the rest of you who are still here, think of it like this. Your podcast audio brings out those conversations, even if it's a one-person conversation to the listeners, or even if it's that, it brings out something different than if you were to sit down and write anything for your business, anything at all. Because talking brings out a coffee-like, dare I say, atmosphere, and it brings out things that don't exist by itself. When you have two people, whether it be you, the host, and the audience, or the host and a guest, or a host and many guests, or what have you, you have something greater than the individual pieces. There is something organic that's created that brings out other things that you wouldn't think or say about by yourself on a computer typing. There's something about speaking that brings out something different. And that something different is usually more authentic or usually more relatable, because you're not just writing to a screen, you're talking to people. And when we talk to people, we are more understandable, we're more relatable. Yeah, we make mistakes, whatever. But we connect more in a way that is just more intimate and more relatable, to be redundant right now. But honestly, it just makes more sense. It goes from speaking to writing, and it just makes more sense. So what I'd like you to think of is using your podcast audio as a jumping off point to a lot of other things that can lead people to your business. You're probably already doing this. You're using videos from the podcast to create like micro videos on social media. You're probably thinking of ideas that came out of it and posting about those on social media or in your newsletters or over on your website. Perhaps you did a few episodes in a series or something, and that really made you rethink some of your services, and so you copied some of those ideas into your products or services, probably services, onto your website. You're probably already using the ideas that come from the podcast, but maybe make it more explicit by tying it to the episodes, but more so using the language that comes from the episodes. Use the language that was used when you were talking to people to talk to people on your website, on your social media. And you don't necessarily have to quote everything and then lead it back to the podcast episode. You can use phrases without quoting. If there's like 2 or 3 words that from a conversation that came out of a conversation in an episode, you don't have to necessarily quote that person. It's just a phrase. It's not the whole idea. I mean, definitely quote someone if it's something that unique, but if it's just a phrase, you can use that phrase without necessarily going back to the source. What I'm saying is, don't just rush to the next episode. Look at that episode and really ask yourself, what came out of this that would tell clients what I do, how I do it, how it can help them, the value in what I offer them. And then massage that. Massage how those words came out and pull it into any aspect of your messaging, any text that you use to promote your business. The podcast audio is just